Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of So Recently. I'm Miranda, and with me is my buddy Matt. And
Hello.
today, Matt, we're gonna it's your turn. I think you and I both take turns taking trips, like our last
Yeah, it's like
couple.
it's like back-to-back weeks typically.
It's weird,
That hasn't been planned, but the past two times it's happened.
right? It's weird that we just seem to go on trips around the same time, just not with each other.
It's like the thing where it's like if I had a nickel for every time it happened, I'd have two nickels, but it's weird that it happened twice, like that meme.
It's like it's not a lot of nickels, but it's weird that it's happened twice. It
Yeah.
is weird. But yeah, last week we talked about me going to the Redwoods, getting engaged, kind of
Yes.
a big deal. So you have to follow that up. What did you get up to? Where did you go on your wonderful trip?
Yeah, so I did a trip with family and my wife, Molly, to Boston. So I did not get engaged. First of all, I should clarify there was no engagements on the trip. That happened a long time ago. But we did do a family trip.
No
Yeah, so I
engagements.
can't top that. But we took a family trip for the first time with my parents.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've done trips with
Oh.
her family before.
Yeah.
Not like a ton, but we have. And we haven't with my parents. So this was the first time, which is fun.
That's
And
awesome.
honestly, like, they're pretty easy travelers, which was nice. I haven't been on a family trip in, goodness, I don't even know how long. Probably, like, like a serious trip with my family, probably like 14, unless I'm just forgetting something major. But it's been a really long time.
Wow, that is a very long time. Okay.
Yeah, so it was really fun.
Since you haven't been on such a family trip in so long, how did it come up? Like, who broached the topic? Was this a Molly thing, or was this your parents going, hey, we're both retired, let's do something?
Bit of both. I think Molly's
Okay.
brought it up before, and then my parents, now that they're both retired, were like, hey, we'd be interested in doing this.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so, and this was like kind of in flux for a while, because like my parents wanted to, do some trip, and then we kind of thought about all these different options. My parents are very like, I don't know, they like the historical trips, they like seeing stuff that they can learn about, they like, I don't know, going to museums and shops and things like
Okay.
that. Like, that's the type of travel they like to do.
Okay, so where you went was perfect.
Yeah, so we went to Boston, which was very fun. Lots of positive things to say about it, which I'm sure we'll cover. But yeah, so we went to Boston, partly just due to the historical context, obviously. But then also, they haven't really been over to the East Coast much. My dad has for work, but it's always like work travel. So it's a little bit different.
Not as fun.
And I've been to New York, but that's it. And DC once or twice, but still, like, it's a little different, very different. But so yeah, we kind of floated a couple different ideas and ended up on Boston, and then it took a long time to actually get to a trip date, but it happened to take place over my 30th birthday, which was pretty fun too.
Woo!
So that was like the personal thing for me. It was my 30th, so
Matt turned
I'm
30.
old. Yeah, I'm old now.
You finally made it. Welcome to
Yeah.
30, man. It's great. Honestly, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
No different so far.
No.
Exactly the same. It was funny. I was talking to somebody I know about 30, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be 30. And he's like, oh man, your 30s are great. Like, things are, a lot more straightforward. It's a little bit simpler, not as hectic. And, you're not like, and a lot of the stuff he was describing, I was like, yeah, but like, I was married at like 24, and I've had the same job since I've been 20,
You've
22.
basically been
So
a
I'm like,
30-year-old
I've been,
in a 20-year-old body, man.
Yeah,
Like now it's just your body's gonna start falling apart.
I do feel like my 20-year-old self had a very like 30s mentality to life. So
Yes.
I feel
Yes,
like I've
you
kind
did.
of just been in that already. But he was describing it. I was like, yeah, but like, just so you know, like, that's exactly what has already been the case. He's like, I guess so, yeah. But
Yeah, 30. It's not going to be much different. I feel like for you because you're
like my
you've
job,
been married. Like
Nothing
me,
changed.
it's like I'm in my like second year of like a steady desk job. I'm getting married, so I feel like I'm doing the 30s thing now.
Yeah.
But
Now the hard part is all the people I know who are in the industry I'm in at my age are like leaders, or specifically in my office, like our director or my boss's
Oh yeah.
boss, or so there's that level of like 30s work stuff. But
Yeah.
other than that, I'm still at the same place, so nothing's really changed
That's
there.
true. And you're still married to Molly, which
That's
is
true.
is
Yeah.
also a great thing. So
Yes, yeah, that'll be a constant either way. That's not something I'm
yeah.
looking to change. Not that I'm looking to change my job either, but just to be clear, that's
No,
not
you're a
something
very
that's
steady
changing.
guy.
Yeah, I don't
Not
know. I've like
changing.
that like old school mentality. It's like, yeah, it's everything's good. I like it. I'm keeping my job. So the trip was really fun. We were there for about 5 days, and yeah, had a really good time. Saw a lot of different things. I would say like a lot of the stuff that we saw in Boston was pretty historical. There
Mhm.
were some outdoors activities, and there was a heck of a lot of walking,
I
like a
imagine.
lot of walking. But beyond that, yeah, we can go into like any topic you'd like if you have any specific questions.
Well, I guess the big one for me is like I've never been to the East Coast
Okay.
like at all. Like I think eastern part of the country I've been to Florida, which I don't count as
Different,
East
yeah.
Coast.
Different vibe for sure.
Yeah, cuz I do a lot of going west stuff, and like that's been most of my growing up and doing things. So I've never been to New York or DC or Boston. Those are all
Which is
high on
weird
my
because
list
I've
of
only gone
places.
east. Like I've never
Which is,
gone west. Yeah.
isn't that weird? Like,
Yeah.
I just like big trees and mountains, and that's west. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
but
That's
the
fair.
East Coast is on my list. So I guess, we can kind of get into what your like recommendations are like towards the end. But if
hmm
you want to just kind of walk us through like what you guys did and like what you guys decided to do, because I'm assuming there is a lot you can do in just Boston.
Yeah, so first of all, I'll just say like we flew in pretty early flight. I think our flight left at like 5:30 or something in the morning. So it was a pretty early trip.
Red Eye.
Yes, but that was okay. And honestly, it was totally fine. When we got to Boston, we stayed in like the seaport area of Boston, which is kind of outside of the main city. There is a lot there, and it definitely feels like it's newer. And we actually talked to an Uber driver who said it's kind of the new developing area.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but it's all newer, right? So we stayed there because we had a bunch of hotel points. So we
Nice.
were over there because it was like incredibly cheap to be there. But we stayed there, and then the first day we kind of just took it pretty easy. We came in, had a nice like lunch, and then we went out to the Boston Tea Party Museum. So that was kind of fun. It was an interactive museum. So
Ooh,
you
cool.
don't it's not like a walk around just like peek at stuff. Like they like kind of sit you down in like a town hall sort of thing, and then there's a bunch of people dressed up like people from revolutionary era, and then they
Oh,
will
okay.
tell you like, oh, this is going on, this is ridiculous, but they have an accent. They have like a heavy British accent to like be like the people who are living, in the in Boston, but obviously the English background and everything. So
Sure,
yeah, and
sure,
so we
yeah.
learned a little bit about that, and you get to go on like one of the ships. Right away, I broke the rules unintentionally. They had like a little because you go on like a ship that they have outside. There's like a bridge from where we were staying, kind of the southern part of the main city of
Mhm.
Boston. There's like a bridge over to the main kind of central Boston area. I guess I'm not a local, so I don't know what the differences are or what they're called, but it's kind of right there. So it's like right in the harbor essentially. And they have like a boat that you walk onto, and I went on the boat, everyone's on the boat, and there's like a part you can go lower. And I saw people were walking down there, so I just like went down, and several people went down, and there's like 20 people on the lower part of this boat for a bit. And it turns out you can't go there because I was walking through, and whoever was leading the tour was like, "Hey, what are you doing down there?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I couldn't be here." And they're like, "Okay, you got to come right up." And I was like, "Well, I can, but FYI, there's like 20 people down here." So
But
I let
also, just so you know, I'm not the only one
I
down here
know, but I
breaking the
felt like I was
rules.
the only one who got flack for it. But I was like, I'm like the 10th person to come down here, and there's like 13 people behind me. So let me tell them to leave.
Dude, it's because you're just the super tall guy that he was like, you!
I literally just like happened to look up, and he could see me through like a stairwell thing. And he's like, "What are
Mm.
you doing down here?" But I'm like, "Well, it was open, and I think it wasn't supposed to be."
It was open, and I'm just like, oh, other people are going there, so I'm gonna go there too because I want to see what's down there.
Yeah, I was curious, and it's fun. But so I went down there, and that was, it was a fun overall thing to do.
Rule
We
breaker.
didn't do a ton more in Boston that first day just because Molly, and poor Molly was sick most of this trip,
Yeah.
but she wasn't feeling the best. And by the time like we had done that and we'd had lunch and everything and walked around the city, it was already getting kind of late. So we just went out to dinner late and got like seafood. A lot of kind of the food I got all week was just seafood. A lot of lobster rolls, which are pretty good. I don't know if you've ever had one.
Oh yeah, I love lobster rolls and seafood, and oh, they're so good.
Yeah, I've had both. I've had both types of lobster roll now. I would say they're both good. Neither are crazy good in my opinion, but I like the warm lobster roll with like the butter
That
over it. That was
that
very
one
good.
I would choose if I, could choose if they had, the options of either one, the warm one for
Yeah.
sure, but which is weird because I normally don't like warm seafood.
Interesting. The cold was good too, but not my speed as much. But that was okay. I mean,
Maybe I've
overall,
just had it with like really warm butter. Maybe that's what it
that's
is.
kind of what it was, to be honest.
It's been a long time since I've been able to have like really good seafood because we're landlocked.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can get seafood here, but not nearly like the best seafood I think I've said on this is like I've had was when I was in Alaska. That was like the best seafood I've ever had. So,
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like Red Lobster or something.
dude, Red
but
Lobster. No, just kidding.
it slaps. Yeah, no,
It
no, I'm kidding. It's yeah.
All right, cool. So you got some lobster and
Yeah, lobster roll. And then the next day was my actual birthday. So that was kind of the long day,
Okay.
I would say, of all the stuff we did. So we went to the Boston Public Library, and it's really cool. It's a very old building, and they have some like really cool architectural design and also like paintings and artwork.
okay.
I don't know. I know you're looking at some of the photos that are posted on my wife's Instagram.
Yes.
I don't know if she posted this. She probably did. They had a really cool kind of murals of Arthurian legend. I shouldn't say murals, tapestries of Arthurian legend painted on the walls. Super cool.
I don't think she did.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, it's very cool. Maybe we'll send you some stuff later.
Molly.
It's like really old school. I was kind of saying how it's like old school Arthurian Christian imagery, but it's like kind of has a little bit, and this is just like nerdy, but like kind of like that Dark Soulsy sort of like this is creepy. Like
Okay.
this is not like it's like this doesn't look chill. This looks bad. This looks scary.
Okay.
So that was really cool. So we spent some time there, and then from there, I would say like we went and got coffee. It was rainy the whole time we were in Boston, like almost exclusively.
Oh.
Outside of one day. But, it's kind of like, well, whatever. We're just going to have to deal with it. So we went to the Boston Public Garden next, which was like this, like, kind of like a Times Square, but obviously a lot smaller. Or not Times Square, excuse me.
Central Park.
Central
I got
Park.
you. I
Thank you.
understood.
Again, I mentioned to you before we started recording. I was a little sleepy from work today.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of like Central Park, and there's like lots of cool, like, revolutionary statues like Paul Revere and all sorts of like really cool floral arrangements and all. It was just like a really pretty area. Definitely feels like where you would like spend time if you lived in the city, if you just like want to go for a walk or whatever. But then they have something called the Freedom Trail. And so the Freedom Trail is basically I think it was something they added in like the 1900s,
Okay.
where it's like this brick trail that if you start in the public garden, you can walk this Freedom Trail, and it takes you to all of these different historical sites
Ooh.
for like Revolutionary War related stuff and American history. And so it's really cool, honestly. Like you could just kind of follow it along, and then it would stop you at different locations, and a lot of them were museums. A lot of them were places that are just like, oh yeah, you can go right here. Like this is where the Boston Massacre happened. Like go right here. This is where they first met to have their meetings in secret, right? Like there's a lot of that, and that's a long walk.
Yeah.
I should clarify. It is like a day.
Oh,
activity.
okay.
So yeah, we were walking at about noon. We were in the public garden. I'm checking like the metadata on my photos to get timelines. But yeah, around noon we were at the public garden, and we were walking till like 5:30.
Oh.
Like it was. We were stopping. Like we stopped for food and stuff, but like still, it's not like a short hike, and so it was pretty fun. Got to see a lot of really cool architecture. We went to the Massachusetts State House. We went to Quincy Market, which is like a kind of like a food hall,
Mhm.
and so lots of really good food there. I'll show you a photo through our webcam here,
Yep.
but I got a Kong dog. And
Ooh.
so it's a corn dog, but it was filled with cheese, and
Okay,
then it
so
had
I've
hot
heard of
Cheetos.
these.
Oh, really?
I've
Okay.
heard of yes, I've heard of this place and this food. Like I said, this is the East Coast in general has been high on my list for a while, so I am aware of that food. Is it as amazing as it looks?
Yeah,
All
it
right,
was really
cool.
good.
All right,
So it was,
dope.
first of all, I should clarify, I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm very relaxed. If you haven't gotten that vibe from this
What?
podcast, if you're a listener,
Matt, I don't think either one of us is relaxed.
that's true. But I would say I operate at a level of like incredibly low stress often.
Uh-huh.
And I just like because of that miss things, like things go right over my head.
Mhm.
So when I ordered this Kong dog, I did not realize that it was just full of cheese and there's no hot dog. I thought there was
Oh.
cheese, but there was still a hot dog.
Wow,
And so I
okay.
got it and I took a bite and I was like, "Oh, there's no hot dog." And Molly was like, "Yeah, that's what you ordered." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know.
That's
But
awesome.
the Kong dog for listeners is like a corn dog with you replace the hot dog with cheese. So it's like a big stick of mozzarella.
Like a mozzarella stick, but
Yeah.
or like, it's a cheese stick deep fried and
Then they put stuff on it.
Yeah.
So mine was a hot Cheetos one. It had like a spicy mayo and then it had hot Cheetos caked on top to the spicy mayo. It was
Ooh,
insane.
that
Very
sounds
good.
so good.
Yeah, and then I got tteokbokki, I believe is how you say it, which is like a Korean dumpling. It's very good. I'm hoping I'm correct on this. I believe it's a Korean dumpling.
I cannot
But
say yes or no to that. I'm sorry.
and I'm sure I'm botching the pronunciation, but it was delicious. It
I
was
love
phenomenal.
dumplings.
Loved
Oh my
it.
god.
Yes, it's like a little dumpling. It was so perfect. So it was a rainy day too, so I was kind of just looking
Oh,
for
that's like
comfort
the
food.
best like rainy food though is dumplings, like especially soup
Yeah.
dumplings. Or
Yeah,
Momo. Oh my god.
absolutely.
Okay, I'm going on a tangent. I'm sorry.
We'll get there. We'll get there. That'll be a different different pod. But
Different
yeah,
episode. Momo.
yeah. Then what we did after is like a couple other stops. We went to Paul Revere's house, which was
Ooh.
really cool. It's super small, obviously, like lots of old stuff in there. They like show you the rooms, but the rooms are like tiny. I'm a tall guy.
You are.
So for me, I'm kind of like hunching a little bit and kind of like smaller. Like they have a ceiling that I'm not hitting my head on, but like it's not too tall.
Okay.
So it was pretty cool. And then, more statues. We didn't make it all the way to Bunker Hill, but we got pretty close. And then like kind of where we ended was there's the USS Constitution, which is like a ship. And we made it over there, took some photos over there, and by this point we were getting very hungry for
Yes.
dinner. I know I just talked about food, but like by this point there's like another 3 hours of walking in between. So we actually went to a pub. It was like an Irish pub, and it was the best. I had a fantastic dinner for my birthday, which I think what's cool is like I love an Irish pub. You'd love an Irish pub.
It's true.
This is very clear. This is like your favorite type of restaurant. It's probably mine too.
Yep, it's up there for sure.
This one had a combo, like a trio.
Mhm.
We could get like a Guinness stew, a shepherd's pie, and a chicken pot pie, and they were small little versions.
Mhm.
So instead of just having one, you had all three. It was so good. It was
like
just
the
like
best day
perfect because
ever.
I always want a little of both. Yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
awesome.
No, it's like more restaurants should do something like that where it's like, okay, these are like the mains that everyone usually wants when they come to this specific kind of place.
Yeah.
Here's like a smatter, like not like a shared appetizer. No, I want my own little thing
hmm
of, two or three different dishes.
Yeah.
But I don't want the full dishes because I'm one person.
Yeah, I want to try lots of your stuff.
I think you sent me a photo of it and I was like, dude, that looks so good. It all looked so good.
It was very good. So yeah, and then kind of the end of the night for my birthday, we went to Mike's Pastry, which if you are interested in traveling to Boston, if you like investigate it all, you'll probably hear they have really good pastries. It was all right. Like they were good.
Okay,
Nothing
alright.
I would say that I would like rush out of your way to go get, but apparently it's kind of like a local hotspot.
Ah.
So I don't know if it's necessarily where locals go, but it's where people are aware of it. It is definitely a tourist spot for sure, and it's definitely something that's advertised.
Well, that makes me think it's not like the place to go for pastries.
Well, there was another place that Molly and I were determining between. And
Okay.
that other place was apparently the place that locals go. But I never know that, you know what I mean? Because, like, it's always like, well, the locals clearly go here too. It's like in your
Yeah,
city.
that's
So,
true. But
so
Boston, I feel like gets enough tourists and like out of town college kids and, you know,
yeah.
so
Either
I
way,
don't know.
it was fine. Nothing crazy, but also, like, fine overall.
Okay. Okay.
And then, yeah, so like the rest of the trip, we spent a little more time in kind of the main city of Boston. The next day, we did a duck boat tour, which is like these old World War II vehicles that you can drive into the water.
Yep.
And so you do a tour of Boston on this duck boat, and then you drive into the bay at some point.
That's
You're like driving around
awesome.
and stuff. Super cool.
I've
I
always
highly
I always
recommend
see
it.
them. Yeah, I see them like when I was in Chicago, I saw them, and I've seen them
Yeah.
elsewhere. And I've always been like, oh man, that'd be so fun to be on, but like I've never actually been on one.
We had a fantastic tour guide. He was really funny, and I think that definitely makes a difference.
Yeah.
But I would definitely recommend it, and I would say do that earlier. Like if you ever go, I would say do the duck boat tour on like one of your first days rather than like your third,
Oh, okay.
because at that point you're kind of like, ooh, you know, like a lot of this I've seen. Like he kind of brought up the Freedom Trail and all the different stuff, and we were like, well, we just did this.
We already did this.
Yeah, and it would have been helpful to know, I think, what the highlights were along that trail. But yeah, still definitely recommend it. And then we spent some time at Harpoon Brewery. They have a lot of beer that apparently is pretty widely circulated on the east.
Mhm.
I had never had it, but they also have Clown Shoes beer, which I've seen over here, and it's good. It was good beer. So
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one, but I'm not in the beer know how for the most
yeah,
part.
it's
I
good.
like beer, but I just don't ever think about getting it.
Yeah, I would recommend going and having a drink there. I don't think that we did like a tour, and the tour was pretty lackluster in my opinion.
Oh, really?
But it was fun, and then we had really good barbecue and stuff then too. But the big kind of final 2 days were, we had kind of two main excursions we went and did. So the second to last day, we went to Harvard,
Ooh.
and we did a tour, and I'll tell you what, it was
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah?
Harvard was cool. It's cool to see it.
You could say you've been there now.
For listeners, I work in higher education, so it is cool to see another college and one that's so famous. But I will say that the tour was maybe not the best, and we didn't get to do an official tour through Harvard. They have apparently another student-run organization slash company that does tours, and the time we were there they didn't have like the normal historical admissions run tour, so this is the one we went on, and it was fine. But the big downside of touring Harvard, and then from what I understand like MIT, is you can't actually go into any of the buildings,
Oh.
which is probably makes sense for like the students who are there, so it's not just a big tourist spot the whole time you're there.
I guess, yeah.
But definitely, once you get to the campus and you see the buildings, it's like, oh, that's, I guess, it then. So it
Well,
was like fine.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that they shouldn't have tours on a college campus, even if it is a historic college. Like, that's weird because people are going to school,
Yeah.
and that's just weird to me. Like, maybe you could block off, like, a building, like, oh,
Yeah.
or like part of a building or something. I don't know. It is weird to be like, look,
They're in a particular predicament where they're very famous and people will show up no matter what.
that's true. Might as well charge people for it.
Yeah, I also just like, it was cool, but I mean, it was cool to hear about how they do things based on the fact that I have some industry knowledge. I got either like very excited to hear certain things or very frustrated to hear certain things when I was there.
You probably took more out of it than like anyone else would have. Like,
I actually, yeah, so I was talking to the tour guide at one point, and like, I'll say our tour guide was really nice, but he was not necessarily the most like social and outgoing. I
Sure.
think he was maybe wouldn't prefer to do tours as his day job.
Sure.
And I was like asking him all these questions, and I could tell he like did not want me to ask questions,
no.
because he kept like asking, like he kept saying like, hey, like please ask any questions you have.
And you're like,
then
bet, I got
I'd be
questions,
like,
man.
okay, like, so what does the process look like when you apply? Blah 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 blah. And he's like, oh yeah, and like would answer and then like try and like make distance.
Oh,
So
no.
I was like, all right, I'm good. I won't like bother you anymore. But you know, it was fun. It was cool to see it. It seems insane, like just the size of it and just the amount of people there. And like, I definitely wouldn't enjoy going there because of how many people were just there, like myself, walking around. But
Yeah.
it was cool to see. And then that was a lot of what we did on that day. The one other thing that we went to is the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, which is just this eclectic collection of art, like all sorts of different types of art and historical findings, and it was super cool.
That sounds
Definitely
fun.
recommend.
Yeah, definitely.
Highlight of the tour, it's like a 4-story museum that has like a big kind of terrace in the middle, with like all this beautiful, greenery. So
Yeah.
definitely recommend it. And there's a lot of really cool like old paintings and just like very cool rooms in that museum. Like it was just fun to be in that building.
That sounds super cool. Like James and I love art, so like I'm sure that would be on our list of things to
100%
do.
recommend. 100% recommend. I thought it was phenomenal. Like that
Okay.
was definitely worth it. And then, I mean, we saw some other stuff too, but the last like big thing that we did in Boston was we actually left Boston proper and went over to Salem for the last
Yeah,
day.
so actually this was something I know I wanted to touch on because I think you and Molly both were like Salem was the best. Like it was like that was probably the most I heard about until this recording of your trip.
Yes.
It was Salem.
Salem's the best. It was like legitimately went to Salem and I was like, man, wish we had done this the day prior as well.
Oh.
It's a little bit further out from Boston. We took an Uber. Uber's got pricey, obviously, but we had to figure out a way to get over there. And by the time where we were, unfortunately, in Boston, the one thing I'll say is if you stay in Seaport area, you kind of are a little out of the way from like all the public transit.
Oh, okay.
So by the time we would have made it to public transit, like we'd have to like walk a considerable ways to get to the public transit, then take it and then take it again. And it's just like we just Ubered a lot of the time, and that would be my one recommendation is maybe don't stay there just because it was a little tricky, even though it was a nice area to stay.
Okay.
But Salem was phenomenal. Smaller town, I think. I mean, it's like 45,000 people, I think, so it's not massive, but it has like a very like local town feel. Like it definitely feels like everyone just lives like in and around that central hub of town.
Okay.
And it was just awesome. Like you could walk everywhere, very pedestrian friendly. There were cool shops all over. I mean, obviously because it's Salem and the witch trials, there is a lot of touristy stuff with Salem.
I'm sure.
But like it was cool. Like it was very fun. The people were really friendly. All the people we talked to in the shops and at the restaurants were like asking if we were visiting, like what we liked, and I think they must be used to it, but also like definitely seemed like they enjoyed living there like quite a bit.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we did a tour. We didn't do the Salem Witch Trial Museum because Molly had heard it was a tourist trap, and so we were like, okay, well let's do this tour instead. And the tour was phenomenal. It's like the coolest tour, like one of the best tours I've ever been on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was I think it was called like Bewitched Tours, but the tour guide, her name was Sarah, and she was just like fantastic. Like best tour guide I've had like anywhere.
Just like based on knowledge or like really extroverted and like
super friendly, had like local knowledge, like clearly loved being there. Also just like really fascinating and a good storyteller.
Okay.
And since it's a, witch trials tour, it was really cool to get a lot of those stories, and she did it in a really, I think, engaging way. Like we were locked in and I was just like, I just hope this tour just keeps going. And like it goes for a while. It's like an hour and a half walking tour.
Oh, cool.
And it was very, very much like the thing I would recommend to you of all the stuff I said we did here was if you do any of the stuff in Boston, and if we're including Salem in this, do that tour.
Okay.
Like it was awesome. And hopefully get the same tour guide, but she was phenomenal.
I'm only doing it if her name is Sarah. Was that her name?
Yeah,
I'm
Sarah.
only doing it if Sarah is my tour guide.
She did say that it was a small group. It was like 6 of us. No. 8 of us, and she said that she sometimes gives tours to like 50 people.
Whoa.
I was like, that is gross.
I like the smaller tours because then it feels more like what you're describing. Like I feel like bigger groups, there's always going to be somebody in a big group that will interrupt or cause a scene or do something where it won't be as like, I can't hear you as well, or you're all shuffling, trying to see the same thing. So I definitely think smaller tour groups are like where it's at.
Yeah, and she did a really good job. She did mention at the end that she does a podcast too about Salem. So I did listen to a couple episodes afterwards, and it's great. Highly recommend it. It was super interesting. It's just like
What's it
local
called?
Salem stuff. It's just called Salem the podcast.
Salem the podcast. Okay.
And she has a good podcaster voice, and her co-host is good. So like, shout outs.
Shout out. Go follow them. That sounds awesome. I gotta go check them out too.
Yeah, it was sweet. I had a blast in Salem. Salem was like the one part of the whole visit where I was like, man, I wish we had more time. Like, because it was like at that point, it's like 5 days in, we're kind of like, okay, like we're good, ready to get back home or whatever. And then we got to Salem, and I was like, I wish we had one more day.
Yeah.
But super cool. Highly, highly recommend. If you do anything that I talked about, do Salem. It was very cool.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah. No. Like I said, you and Molly both were like raving about Salem over any other thing you did. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
To be clear,
Salem,
too,
up there.
we really liked Boston as well. Like the city was.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. I would say of the cities I've been to, that was my favorite city. Like
Wow.
I've ever
Okay.
been to. It
Okay.
had a very, I don't know, it was like comfortable. It felt like it wasn't too big. It felt interesting. There's like old architecture there too, because it's
Right.
historical. So it doesn't quite feel so like blech that like if you go to like, I mean, like we're in near Minneapolis, like that's, kind of just like, okay, like, it's just a lot of new office buildings and stuff. Like this felt
Yep.
very cool. And like the streets don't really all make sense and stuff. Like it was fun. I really enjoyed being there. The
Okay.
weather sucked, but it was like the first like city I've been to where it's like a big city, and I was like, if I could move here, like it wouldn't be off the table. It's a cool space. Like it's
Okay.
not like we've visited New York, and I've been to Chicago and stuff, and those are always like fine, but it's always like, okay, yeah, no, wouldn't
Okay,
move
so
here.
you liked Boston where you're enough to be like, if it ever came up, I would be okay living here.
Yeah, it was definitely not out of the it was like immediately
wow.
like, oh yeah, this feels cool.
Hey, you know what?
So-
That's like a pretty good review of the city, I think. Going to it and be like, yeah, okay, if I had to move here, I'd be okay.
Yeah, it was very much this is, I could see myself living here. It's cool. So
That's awesome.
if you're a listener from Boston, it's a cool city. Definitely like it.
Yeah, big thumbs
So-
up for Matt. I have not been there yet, but I plan on being there one day. I don't know.
Yes, I recommend it. It was phenomenal. Hopefully you'd get better weather. It was bad weather the whole time we were there, but you can't control that.
You can't
So-
control it. It's fine.
Mhm.
You just
But
gotta
yeah.
roll with it.
Yeah, I know I just rambled for like 30 minutes, so hopefully,
Dude, that's
it's not
that's
too much.
totally cool. Like, and look, it's all about your trip. No big deal.
Yes.
I can't think of any questions offhand because I feel like you covered, I just want to know about your trip, honestly. And
Yeah.
you talked about, the good and the bad, I guess. So
Yeah, and I don't think there was anything that was like particularly bad. I think there was a couple things that were like, but like I would say, yeah, highlight maybe mid to like would be like Harvard.
I guess what like you could do like skip or like skip Harvard.
It depends. I think it depends on if you want to see Harvard. It is cool, but maybe just like spend some time there. The only issue is Cambridge is a little bit further out. Like you have to go away from the main city again, so you're kind of like it takes time. So
Yeah.
it's up to you. If you're spending some time over there for other stuff, maybe go check it out.
I mean,
But
I'll be
otherwise,
honest. I would never have even thought of going to Harvard. That's not even in my
you just know that's my
wheelhouse.
background.
I know, like you
Yeah.
going makes sense, but like I'll be completely honest. When you said you went to Harvard, I was like, oh yeah, it is over there, isn't it? Like my brain was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Like,
It was cool. Yeah, so I would say Boston Tea Party Museum, go to. It was
Okay.
cool. It was also pretty cheap, so it's like fun overall. There was let's see, everything to do with the Freedom Trail, like just do it if you're there. Like why not? It was really fun. Duck boats, absolutely, but do that earlier in the trip.
Mhm.
I skipped it, but we went to the aquarium. That wasn't something we talked about, but it's fine. It was a cool aquarium, but it was nothing fancy. If you've been to a good aquarium before, it's about the same level.
Okay.
Then from there, I'd say Harvard, whatever. If you want to, you can. If not, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, go to, for sure.
Okay.
And then, Boston Public Library, I skipped that, but like, go to that. I mentioned that at the beginning, but that was really cool, and it was free.
I like that. Yep.
And then Salem, spend more time there.
Spend more time in Salem.
Salem's weird, because it's not that big of a city, but like, as soon as we left, I was like, yeah, I could see coming back just to do like a weekend trip to Salem. Like there was
Oh,
enough of stuff that I'd want to do.
cool.
But from what I understand, just don't go on Halloween unless you really want to.
I was gonna say avoid it then, but the rest of
They
the
said
year
they
is
get
probably great.
they have like 1 million people visit in the month of October. So that's got to be a complete nightmare. But yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. So
All right.
yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing about all your adventures in the East Coast city of Boston.
Yes. We'll both have trips coming up later too, like next year.
Next year,
So,
yeah.
around the same time
Around
too.
the same time.
But I
Where are
think
you
I'll
going?
lead. We're going to Italy.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah, I forgot.
yeah. So we'll have a lot to share with that because
Yeah, you will.
something that maybe hasn't been discussed on this podcast is I'm a big fan of pasta.
Oh, he loves spaghetti.
I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Like, I mean, I have a picture of you, and I've never seen you look happier, and that's including at your wedding, of you eating spaghetti at Epcot in Disney World.
I was really craving it.
Look,
Yeah.
man, I've shown that to my mother, and she was like, "That is the happiest man I've ever seen in my life." And I was like, yeah, he is happy when he has pasta. So you're going to love Italy, and you're going to come back going, "We're going to move to Italy now."
Yeah, I could see us liking that quite a bit. We'll have lots to share in that one. That might be a multi-part one because we're going to a couple places in Italy too.
Yeah, that's
so.
true. We're teasing like a year, like more than a year out at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
and then you're going to have a very cool trip as well.
that's
so,
true.
Yeah.
Kind of teased it last episode with my honeymoon next year after my wedding, Japan. So
Yeah, that's
got-
going to be nuts. We're both going to want to hear a lot about the other trip.
it's gonna be great.
So, well, cool. Well, yeah, thanks for asking me. I'm glad I could, share some stuff, and hopefully it's fun. Definitely recommend Boston to listeners. Definitely do a trip if you're able to. It was super cool. Yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, thanks for all of your questions, and thanks listeners for listening to me ramble for a little
Yeah,
while.
well, Matt, thanks for rambling so much. I really appreciate it because it was fun to listen to. Like I said, you guys didn't really tell me a whole lot about your trip, so it was fun listening to about what you guys actually did. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. Tune in next week for another topic. One of us or maybe a guest will come on.
Yeah, potentially.
Potential guests in the workings. But thanks again, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
All right, see y'all. Have a good one.
Bye.